Hi everybody, I'm Agathe. I'm from Côte d'Ivoire. Officially we speak French. There's over 22 million inhabitants in Ivory Coast. So Ivory Coast is the English name of Côte d'Ivoire. I'm from the center of Ivory Coast and my ethnic group is called Baoulé. And I'm really proud of that. And we are the biggest ethnic group of Ivory Coast.
Interesting how our cultures are very different and we come from the same continent.
But the good thing is when we meet here, we are brothers and sisters because we all share the same experience.
So how did you find yourself in Cambodia?
Well, Cambodia was not my first destination. Actually, I was planning to go to Vietnam, and then I applied for the Vietnamese visa online, but I couldn't get it because of my nationality. And then we tried, I was with my boyfriend, and then we tried other Southeast Asian countries, and then we find out that Cambodia could grant us a visa on arrival. Then we applied online and I got my visa online, and yeah, that's when we arrived here as tourists. So when you travel as tourists, you don't need like all this information online. So, and then we arrived here, and then we found out that life is not what we've been thinking about. And it's different from Africa.
It's a different culture, it's a different environment, it's different everything.
Yes, different everything.
How was the visa application process?
That was the pain in the neck. So first we arrived here, and then the first month, because you can get tourist visa within the country twice, and then after 2 months my tourist visa finished, and then we had to go out of the country because we started to enjoy Cambodia, and then I went telling my boyfriend at this time he got a job from a company, so we decided to live here. And then we wanted to apply for my business visa, and then it was impossible. We needed to get out of the country, and where can I go? Only Singapore, the Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand. I need a visa, and as a tourist I cannot go to the Thai embassy to get the Thai visa, but in Singapore I can just go there without visa for 30 days. And then we decided to travel to Singapore. We went to Singapore one night, and then we came back at the airport. Okay, I need a business visa. No, you can't. You can only get a tourist visa. Why is that? No, because you need paperwork, and then at this time we didn't know that because we were not in any Facebook group and we didn't do any research online. Then I got another tourist visa and a second one again, so now that's my 4th tourist visa. And then we decided to travel to the capital city, Phnom Penh, and then to meet some immigration officers to have accurate information. And we went there, and they needed to have some paperwork from the company where I work, but I didn't have a job. And if I go out of the country first, I need a letter from immigration and then a stamp, and then I leave the country. When I come back, I can get the business visa. Then we think, what can we do? Then my husband's company decided to help. So they decided to put my name on the company's paper as a director so that I can get my first business visa. And then we went out of the country, we came back, and it worked with a letter of the immigration to the immigration officer. And then even the immigration officer, they were like, it took them like 1 hour. I was standing there, and all the other travelers, like white people or from other countries, they would pass, they would get the passport stamp, and then I was standing in the line, they were discussing there, and eventually they decided to give me the visa, and then they asked me, where did you get this letter? From immigration. I said, from immigration. Which guy gave you the letter? And thank God we took the number of the guy who gave us, who put the stamp on the letter. So we gave a number to the immigration officer, the big boss, and then the big boss called the number. The guy said, yes, she's been here in my office, and she went out of the country. Now she's back. She's with the white guy. And then, so they decided to put the stamp, the first stamp, and then after the stamp, the big boss came to my husband and he said, if something happened here to her, you are responsible. Like, he was threatening us. So he was not even happy to give me that visa. So when I got my passport back, I said, thank you, sir, bye. But at this time I was 4 months pregnant, and I was standing with my belly, tired, wanted to go to the restroom, but
it was not possible at that time. Oh,
yeah.
What an experience. The moment I got into Cambodia, I knew the kind of visa that I had to get, and I had all my documentation ready. I was very prepared. I had a file that I kept close to me that was like, in case anyone is questioning my credibility. I was the first person to alight on the plane when we arrived in Cambodia, but the last person to leave the airport on that day. I don't know what they were confirming exactly, but they're just like, you're not going to get a business visa, despite having all the documents, you know. And then when I asked them, they're like, you're from Africa. So I'm like, wow, this is interesting. And that is when I was like, wow, where am I? I'm far away from Kenya right now. I'm far away from the experiences that I'm aware of. This is a totally new environment, but I have to keep my calm and just try to cooperate and understand where they're coming from. And then I started putting one into two and relating to the experiences that I had read online on Facebook. Oh, you cannot get it even when you're right. How do you feel about your experience with the Cambodian immigration and being in Cambodia itself?
These are two different entities, because the immigration treats you like that you are a nobody. But the local population, they are so friendly and so human and smiling. I feel like home when I'm in my streets or when I'm with my neighbors. But when dealing with immigration, I'm like, I'm always scared, because they always have something new to block you or to shock you. My last experience with the immigration was like, I handed my passport to the immigration officer, and then the immigration officer asked me, where are you from? And as I live here since 3 years, I was like, today I'm going to show this guy a little bit of my African behavior. So, where are you from? I said, sir, it's written on my passport. And then the guy was like, he was kind of shocked. But you can tell me. And I said, it's written on my passport. And then I was standing in front of him with my 1-year daughter at this time, and it took the guy 30 minutes to stamp my passport and to take my fingerprint as we were traveling out to Europe. And then the boss of immigration was walking around, and then the boss saw the guy, and he saw me standing there, and then the boss came to one and said, he asked in Khmer, what is happening? Oh, she's from Côte d'Ivoire. And then the guy said, yeah, Côte d'Ivoire, you don't know Côte d'Ivoire? And eventually I was standing there, and then the guy said, fingerprint. Here's your passport. Bye. So have a good day.
How old is your little girl?
My little girl is 2 years and a half, and she was born in Cambodia. So I got pregnant after two months after we arrived in Cambodia, and so all my pregnancy I spent here, and I gave birth here in a Cambodian hospital, public hospital as we call it in Africa, and I had a nice experience in that hospital. I had a private room, and the doctors are so experienced every day because I had a C-section, so they would come. Oh, do you need something? If you have pain, can you please tell us? And I had a private room with aircon, and I didn't pay anything. Everything was for free. The only thing that we had to do by ourselves was finding food, but that was fine.
Wow.
Yes.
Free.
Yes, and actually a lot of expats here, I think they think this kind of hospital is not good, or they don't know a lot about that hospital, because for me, it was the same with me. In the beginning, I used to go to Phnom Penh for checkup.
Wow.
And spending money, sometimes $1,000.
And you're pregnant.
Yeah,
and
private hospital, private car, and this. And then eventually, as I was 7 months, my doctor in Phnom Penh said, oh, look, you will be in labor, you will not be able to travel to Phnom Penh, you can find an alternative in Siem Reap. Then he said, look, this public hospital is good.
Wow.
All the doctors, they studied in Europe, and they have experience. Some days 100 babies are born, 60 babies. So
Wow.
this kind of doctors, they know a lot.
Yeah.
Instead of one private hospital. Then, so I decided to go there for my last checkups, and then I like it. I gave birth there. It was nice.
That's awesome.
And vaccine for my child when she was born, free vaccine till she was 18 months.
Wow. Wow.
It's free for everybody. But as an expat, because most of the time the expat, they have a little bit of money, so they want to go in a private hospital. And if it's your first child, you want to have a nice experience, nice room, and this with bling bling. But I mean, that hospital was the best hospital I have ever seen. Even in Ivory Coast, we don't have this. Yeah. So it was a nice experience.
And what was it like getting the documentation, the birth certificate and other accompanying certificates that come when a baby has been delivered?
So once the baby is delivered, the doctor will give you a small, how do you call that? Like a certificate at the hospital.
Notice or something.
Yeah, and then they will ask you which name do you want to give her. So you have to tell the name of the baby there, the hospital. So, and then they write her name, our names, and the job that we're doing here. And then with that hospital paper, you go to the chef de commune, and there you get a birth certificate for the child in Khmer. And to apply for the passport, you need to send the birth certificate to a company, a translation company, to translate it in English, and then with the English version, you can apply for a passport. But I mean, my birth experience here was great.
Good.
Yes.
That is interesting.
Yes. I mean,
Considering that the other experiences, like the immigration.
yeah.
But then there are also so many positives that happen.
Raising a child here, it's not so difficult, but it's the same question that people ask you every day as a black person is, where is the mom of a child? Because I'm black and then my daughter is mixed, so they will ask me, where's the mom? So why is she white and then you are so black? So I have to explain them that She has the light skin because my husband is white.
Thank you for sharing your story.